Ma'am, we end the meeting.
Ecological pyramid. The studies of trophic relationships indicate that starting from the producers, one finds a regular decrease in the properties of characters such as number, energy, and biomass of the organism occupying a trophic level in a food chain. That is, the characteristics that we talk about. What are the characteristics? The number of species or the number of animals or plants present, or the energy that is transferred at each level. So this, all these characteristics, as we move on in a food chain from producers to consumers, we find that it keeps decreasing. As we move to further levels in the trophic levels, we find that these characteristics, they keep on decreasing. All right, so when we represent it graphically, we get the shape of a pyramid where the producers are placed at the bottom, at the base. You know how a pyramid is. It is kind of 3D of a triangle. All right, three-dimensional triangle, you can say. It is the form of pyramid. So the base is very large and producers are kept at the base. They have a huge number or a huge amount of energy they have. And then as we move on to higher levels of the trophic levels, what happens, that these characteristics, that is the number of plants or animals present, the number of the amount of energy transferred, it keeps on decreasing. So the broadness, it narrows down and then it comes to a point at the top, and therefore we get the shape of the pyramid. So they say that when we are studying about the relationships between the producers and the consumers, we find that there is a decrease in the property as we move to the further levels. When graphically represented, these relationships give a shape of pyramid with a broad base and a tapering apex. Such a pyramid is known as ecological pyramid. So if you are asked that what is an ecological pyramid, you will have to explain this whole thing, that when because these properties go on decreasing as we move to further levels, and these when represented graphically, they give a shape of a pyramid, and we study the relationship between various levels by means of this pyramid, and such a pyramid is known as an ecological pyramid. It can be studied under three categories, that is pyramid of numbers, pyramid of biomass, and pyramid of energy. So the first one is the pyramid of numbers. It indicates the numerical relationship between the producers, herbivores, and carnivores at successive trophic level. So they're saying that the pyramid of numbers, it tells us the numerical relationship, that is how many in a particular ecosystem, what is the number of producers that are present, what is the number of primary consumers that are present, what is the number of secondary consumers that are present, and so on. So you can mark this much, that pyramid of numbers indicates the numerical relationship between producers, then herbivores, and carnivores at the successive trophic levels. Relationship would mean whether one is more or less than the other. When for example, in a grassland ecosystem, so here we are taking a type of ecosystem, that is a grassland ecosystem. The producers are grasses which are maximum in number. If you see the amount of grass present in grasslands, the amount of grass is very, very, huge. Lots and lots of grass has grown over vast areas of land. So the amount of grass present is abundant. The herbivores are lesser in number than the grass. Maybe say in a particular grassland ecosystem, there are 100 or 200 deer present, or maybe 100 deer and maybe 50 rabbits or something of that sort. But when you count or relate the amount of grass present and the number of herbivores present, you would always come to know that the number of herbivores is always lesser than the number of producers in a particular ecosystem. The secondary consumers are lesser than primary. So the primary were herbivores. Now when we come to the secondary ones, that is the carnivores, talking about maybe lions or tigers, so they would be only 20 or 50 in number in all. That is all the lions and tigers, all the carnivores that are present, maybe bear or whatever carnivores are present, they would be present in a lesser number than the producers. The number of than the herbivores. That is, the number of herbivores would always be larger than the number of carnivores present. Then talking about the tertiary consumers, they would be the least. That is, tertiary consumers, if they come in the chain, if they are present, then they are obviously in lesser number. Talking about the chain, that is grass, then rabbit, then what was that? What was the chain? Rabbit, then you have snake, and then you have eagle. All right. So in such a case, what happens that the number of rabbits would be more than the number of snakes, and then that is, there would only be a few snakes, maybe 10 to 15 present in the grassland or at a particular place, and then the number of eagle or the number of owl would be further less, maybe only 5 or 6. But you would always find that the number keeps on decreasing as we move from producers to primary consumer, then to secondary, and then to tertiary consumers. If you look at the pyramid given on page 49, there is grass, there is grasshopper, then frog, and then snake. So the grass is present in abundance, then the number of grasshopper lessens down, then the number of frogs lessens down even more, and very few snakes are present. So the number keeps on decreasing. Talking about the dependence on talking about their dependence on each other, you get an inverted pyramid. How is that possible? That is, if you talk about just one tree, so how many lives are dependent on that one tree? So many birds have built their nest and they depend on that tree for nutrition. They eat the fruits of that tree, they live in that tree. And then there are if you talk about the secondary consumers, the parasites, that they are present in further more numbers, and then further more hyperparasites are present. Means that is, a huge amount of producer is there, but the dependence of many organisms is on that producer. All right. Either you can say that a large population of producer feeds a lesser population of consumers, or you can say that one single producer is feeding a large population of the consumers. It's the same thing, but just the wordings have been changed. In a parasitic food chain, for example, an oak tree, a large tree provides food to several herbivorous birds. Like you have your pigeons and parrots, they eat the fruits out of the trees and they live in the trees. These birds feed on fruits borne by these trees. The birds support still a larger population of parasites, which in turn support a much larger population of hyperparasites, leading to formation of an inverted pyramid. Like small insects, or very tiny ones, they live on the bodies of birds or animals, other animals, and they derive their nutrition from the bodies of the other animals. Like for example, you often find that there are small insects that are present on the bodies of our pet dogs and cats. So they are parasites. They derive nutrition from the body of the other animals. And then so one bird or one animal is providing nutrition to a large number of parasites. Similarly, these parasites, they provide nutrition to hyperparasites. Hyperparasites would mean further smaller organisms that derive nutrition from those parasites. Like the parasites are deriving their nutrition from the other animals, similarly the hyperparasites, they derive their nutrition from the parasites. All right, so you get an inverted pyramid in this case. That is, there is one tree, then many birds, then many parasites depending on those many birds, and then many more hyperparasites depending on those parasites. All right, so you get an inverted pyramid. That is the dependence of a large population on just one. So if you look in a way, all those hyperparasites, they derive their nutrition from the single tree. Could you get it? All right, if there's a problem, you can tell me. Then second comes the pyramid of biomass. An ecological pyramid of biomass shows the relationship between biomass and trophic level by quantifying the amount of biomass present at each level. You can underline this much. That what does an ecological pyramid of biomass represent? It represents the relationship between biomass and the trophic level. That is, that what amount of biomass is present at what trophic level. What is biomass? Biomass may be defined as total dry matter present in an organism. You can underline that. That might be asked as a 1-mark question. That what is biomass? So you can say that biomass can be regarded as the dry matter present inside an ecosystem. That is the amount of which the organism is made of. All right, the total matter that is the organism made up of is known as biomass. Generally, the biomass of producers is more than biomass of primary consumers, which is more than that of secondary consumers, that is carnivores, which in turn is greater than the biomass of tertiary consumers of top carnivores. Saying that biomass is larger would mean that if you take a population of producers, you take an equal number of population of the primary consumers, then you take equal population of the secondary consumers, and then finally the equal amount of the equal population of the tertiary consumers, then the amount of matter present in the amount of matter present in the producers would be more. That is, this much amount of grass is going to weigh 1,000 kgs. All right, this is going to weigh 1,000 kgs. Similarly, the same amount of grasshoppers would just weigh 100 kgs. This amount would be the same. The amount would be the same, but now the weight would be different. Then again, the same amount, taking up the same number of frogs, they would just weigh 10 kgs. And similarly, if we talk about the snakes, the amount of biomass or the matter that the snakes are composed of would just weigh 1 kg. So the amount of matter present in a particular amount of on a particular population of the producers or consumers would weigh differently, and this weight, when taken into account, we find that it keeps decreasing as we move to higher level in the pyramid. All right, as we move to successive levels, the amount of matter present keeps on decreasing in the similar population. The equal population is taken, but the amount of matter present keeps on decreasing. All right. Then comes the pyramid of energy. The pyramid of energy indicates the amount of energy flow at each trophic level in the ecosystem, as well as role played by different organisms in the transfer of energy. You underline this much for the explanation of pyramid of energy. That is that how the amount of energy that is getting transferred from in the successive levels, that we come to know by means of pyramid of energy, and we find that energy transfer keeps on decreasing. Whenever there is a transfer of energy from one trophic level to the other, there is some loss of energy through release of energy, heat due to metabolic activities. And some of when energy is transferred from one organism to the other, then and some of the energy is released and lost. So the amount of energy transferred is reduced. All right. Then they say however, greater amount of energy is available at producer level than at primary consumer level, which is more than the energy available at consumer level. So the amount of energy that is present to be consumed, the amount of energy that is present to be consumed by the other organism keeps reducing. That is, if the producer has manufactured 1,000 kilocalories, if you look at the pyramid given on page 51, the producer has how much energy? 1,000 kilocalories it has produced, and it has stored it inside for the consumers to consume it. So the primary consumer came and consumed the whole 1,000 kilocalories, but it could only save 100 kilocalories. The left part was lost. The rest of the part was lost. So now the primary consumer has saved 100 kilocalories to be consumed by the others. So now the secondary consumer comes and consumes the primary consumer, that is the 100 kilocalories that the primary consumer had saved. It consumes that, but it can only save 10 kilocalories inside it, and the rest of it gets lost, again released as metabolic, as heat during metabolic activities. Now the secondary consumer could only store 10 kilocalories. So when tertiary consumer comes to consume the secondary consumer, what happens that it can only get 1 kilocalorie from it. The rest of it is again lost. So the energy that gets stored for the other organism to consume keeps on decreasing at the successive levels. All right, that is when grasshoppers, they come and then they eat the grass. The grass had 1,000 kilocalories, but the grasshoppers could only store 100 kilocalories. And then some frogs came and then they ate those grasshoppers, but they could only store 10 kilocalories. And then some snakes came and then they consumed these frogs, and then they could only save 1 kilocalorie. All right. So therefore, because the energy transferred is lessened, therefore nature has balanced. To balance this, nature has done what? It has decreased the number of organisms also, so that to feed the, to supply their energy needs, the higher level organisms do not feed too much on the lower organisms. If the population would be larger at the top, they would feed up, feed all the organisms present at the lower level, and then the balance would be disturbed, because the energy transferred is less, gets lessened each time. So to maintain the balance, the number of organisms have also been reduced by nature as we move to the successive levels. All right. And because the energy that they receive is lessened, therefore the matter that their body is able to form, it also gets, lessened. So everything is in balance in nature. So talking about the numbers, talking about the matter present, talking about the energy transfer, all of these, they keep on decreasing. That is all the characteristics. They keep decreasing when we move from producers to primary consumers to secondary consumers to tertiary consumers. And thus, what do we get? We get a shape of a pyramid when talking about these characteristics, where producers are larger in number, they have a higher, means a larger amount of matter or biomass, and they have a larger amount of energy. While The tertiary consumers are present at the top with little energy present or little biomass present, or being lesser in number. So all the three characteristics, they form a pyramid. So we mentioned them as ecological pyramids, studied under three categories: pyramid of numbers, pyramid of biomass, and then pyramid of energy.